YouTube. Lloyd's Welding here. Today we're going to be taking a look at my 2006 21-foot Southern skimmer. It's built like a Carolina skiff. I don't think there's many of them made, or there might be, but you don't see a lot of them except for when you go to the coast. It's a flat bottom boat. It's got a Suzuki 4-stroke, 115 horse. It'll do about 40 miles an hour. When I bought the boat, it did not run. I think they call it the VST. It's like a fuel system on there. They have that is fuel injected, so they have a low pressure side and then a high pressure side. And the VST is like $2,000. And I was going to take the boat back to the guy, but I ended up taking I think it's a VST. I want to say it is, but something like that. It's the whole fuel pump module. I ended up taking it apart, and the fuel pump inside was bad. And I called around checking on the fuel pump. Just a fuel pump was $700, and I started looking at them some more and digging, and I ended up getting on eBay or Amazon and finding it for like $80. And as soon as I put the fuel pump in it, put everything back together, it fired right up and started running. The seats need to be reupholstered. The floor, it's been under my shed ever since I've owned it. But it needs to be cleaned out from sitting here all winter. I hadn't used it none except for maybe one time to go fishing. Let me flip the camera around and I'll show you the rest of it. Hey guys, here on the boat, I built this seat to go across. It's 2 pieces of angle iron, and then put stainless steel hardware in each of the holes. But I built this for my family because, you know, it had nowhere to sit besides here, and then the seat in front up there in front of the center console. Put this back bench seat on. I like it real good. Everybody back here rides real smooth. When you start trying to ride up there with a flat bottom boat anyways, it's rough, real rough. That's my live well. That's my battery box for my motor, and I think it runs my all my stuff up here. Yeah, it runs all my lights and everything. Then I have my fuel tank. It's about 20 to 30 gallons, 25 gallons, I think. There's a water fuel separator under there, and then there's 2 more batteries under there. They run my 24-volt trolling motor, and I got an air pump and stuff like that. We run for all the other stuff, but let me get back here, and I've got a disconnect in there. It turns them all off or all on, or whichever one I want to do. Right now they're all off. All right. I gotta put the safety switch on there. Everything should light up now. This is a Garmin 9SV. It's the side view. I put it on the boat. I really like it. I don't get a chance to use it very much fishing wise, but it tells me what kind of water I'm in. You know, if I'm in shallow water or whatever. It's reading fish on there right now. I don't know what it's reading. It must be the sand or something. But right here is when it maps out everything everywhere you've been. Right here is when it flooded a while back. And I've got this small creek beside my house. It ain't, 8 inches deep. And then there's a little river beside my house. I guess a bigger creek, not really a river. It might be 6 foot deep in places. And it flooded so bad, I backed the boat down my driveway, unloaded it, and rode around in my field.
And it didn't quit for 4 months. We've been through every kind of rain there is. Little bit of stinging rain, and big old fat rain. Rain that flew in sideways, and sometimes rain even seemed to come straight up.
That's like I said, the Garmin 9SV. It's got the side view. It's got your regular sonar, and then it's got navigation. There's a whole bunch of stuff to this. And it's got your mapping software in it also. But I'm gonna crank it up. It ain't been running probably a month. So this runs good, low RPMs, needs a little bit of fuel. This is for my bait tank or my live well, my anchor lights, my running lights, everything else. This I put on here for put this on here. It's got a 12-volt cigarette plug and then plug in for cell phones. So I got it, and then plus I wanted this to know my voltage. This is for my voltage for my front batteries. I hooked it up different because I wanted them. No, this is my voltage for my back batteries, because when I crank it up, it goes up. So I was just wanting to be right about that. Let's see, I put these lights on here. They're on my spare switch over here. They work good for seeing on the boat at night, but they don't work good for seeing in front of you. If you want to mount lights for seeing in front of you, you need to mount them on the nose of your boat, because otherwise, especially having a white boat, you get glare off the boat and you can't see the water, and it's basically like driving in the dark still. Right here's my access to my air pump for my floats and my batteries. Keep my anchors and stuff up there. Put that on there. Carry extra rods. Got my box. Keep my tackle box, stuff like that in there. This is a cooler we use for drinks and stuff. I've got another cooler we use for bait. Try to keep that separated. I got these rod holders. I can't remember the guy's name. He's here in North Carolina. I want to remember his name. Can't remember right off the top of my head. He's got a YouTube channel though. I'll try to remember what it is or post it here in the description or on the screen here for you. But I bought these they're Rage 2s or something like that. I bought 6 of them for, I want to say $120 or something like that. And they come with all the mountain hardware, everything I needed to put them on the boat. And they're very strong. Other than that, most of the work was just cleaning up and you know, fixing everything. I put the bimini top on. I put new shock or leaf springs under here. The leaf springs, where it had been sitting so long and been in and out of salt water most of its life, was all rusted and had to redo them. The side bunks, the bumpers and the bunks underneath, I had to jack the boat up and take the bunks off and then put new bunks on and wrap them. Trying to think of what else I got here. I've been having a lot of trouble with, I had these plastic roller wheels on the front and I didn't like them. So, because one, they'd catch under its lip when you're unloading it. It'd still roll off, but it was still a pain. And then when you load this thing up, you've got to tighten this rope so tight to get it way up on here, because once you pull it out of the water, it tilts back and then lifts the front end off your wheel rollers up here. So I went to Lowe's and I bought, these are tires that come off of a hand truck. They were selling them in the garden section, so I bought 2 of them, stuck them on there. They work a little better, still not as great, because when I wrench this thing down, they basically go flat right here. But what I'm thinking about doing is running a 4x4 this way along the bottom of the boat and make them about 4 foot long. That way I can drive it up on there and hopefully have no problems. Well, that's it, guys. Like, comment, subscribe.